This week, we celebrate being in the game longer than the game Concord was. Fucking 2 weeks. That's crazy. Welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of the Cream of the Crop podcast. As always, I'm joined by my two lovely friends here, KJ and Olas, for a jam-packed night of conversation between wrestling and all things gaming and nerd. We're going to start, as we usually do, with a little This Week in Geek. As you can tell from my intro, poking a little fun at Concord this week. So if you've been paying attention, the game Concord released 2 weeks ago, and Sony decided 2 weeks was enough and took that shit offline and pretty much can't purchase it now due to, I guess, just poor player base. I don't know.
No,
really,
man, it was just a really exclusive club. You had to be there. That's it.
Get a special Sony platinum trophy for playing Concord.
For being a sucker. I mean, yeah, for playing Concord.
And this could boil down to a lot of things. I've seen a lot of opinions on it on the internet as far as why this game didn't succeed. Between it trying to match the Overwatch model, but not doing that, or I know what people have said, the pandering to the minority communities, not specifically just yours, Porto, but just the diversity of the characters and such made
so like you bought it, right?
Yeah, come on,
you pandered right to you.
Yeah, it's right to
I didn't know
you.
the game existed.
I guess they didn't pander enough. I don't. I will say, from what I saw of it, it did look very uninteresting, but the characters really weren't the issue. It was the gameplay. Like, I get wanting characters to look cool. I don't think the characters inherently looked like dog shit or anything. It looked like random characters. I just don't think there was a lot of
diversity.
No, there was plenty of that. There was absolutely plenty of that.
Way too much of that shit. No.
They didn't look interesting in the sense of, like, if you were to put them all together, I couldn't tell you the difference between who was who. Like, if you gave me a name and then just gave me all of the characters, I couldn't go, yeah, that's so-and-so. Whereas, like, Overwatch, even the start of Overwatch, you could put that team in a lineup and I could go, yeah, that's Reinhardt, that's Bastion, that's
Diva.
That's Diva. And so
you watch too much Rule 34.
Well, that's,
See, that was their problem. They needed to come out with the Rule 34.
They should have come out with that first.
It would have blew up, man. Like, that shit would have been great.
True. Yeah. You gotta hit the porn industry first and then release the game.
Like, come on, man. Have you guys learned nothing from Stellar Blade? If you can't jerk off to this game, like, nobody wants it. And that sells, and even when it's self-inflicted.
I think this unfortunately falls into kind of a rut that the gaming industry is in right now, especially with major AAA titles, is that it's all just a cash grab that's half-assed, and then they get surprised when nobody wants it. Outlaws is kind of suffering from what I see the same effect. To a lesser degree, but still.
I've heard so many actual mixed reviews on it, because I have had people say that they have enjoyed it. Obviously, like, okay, the graphics got dumbed down from the demo, which, I mean, it's a Ubisoft game. Everybody knew it was going to happen. And, listen, I'm not going to knock a game for having, like, glitches and bugs and stuff, because they can always work that shit out so long as they actually work that shit out.
Yeah.
Especially on launch, which is a shame, because, I mean, games should be completed upon. Now, I can't imagine that knowingly send a game out with known bugs and glitches, and then it's like, oh, hey,
they're not Activision.
It went live, and now, like, we're experiencing this weird thing when people do this happens. Okay, we got to go in and fix it. That's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's just the way the industry is right now. So it just comes with the territory. But I mean, the gameplay. So the only other thing about Outlaws I heard was that it's shorter than I thought it would.
Really?
Like story wise, I guess. I haven't seen much of it because I go back and forth about wanting to play it.
Yeah.
Because the masochist in me, I think, wants to do it, and I usually try to actively avoid watching like streamers or anything or gameplay
That's
of
how I
it
am with
or
Space
something.
Marines right now.
Yeah. So I go back and forth with it because I'm like, do I want to invest time into it to see? And it doesn't look super interesting at times. And then I don't know if I'm
It
just
looks very
catching it in a
boring.
weird. Yeah,
Like
I don't know if I'm just catching it in a bad spot because obviously every game has some downtime where it's just like, all right, this isn't as exciting as the rest of the game.
I
But
think my issue is because I enjoyed Jedi Survivor and like that series so much. This doesn't feel like it has the same life to it as that
yeah,
game does. It feels very lifeless. Like
it
even
looked
just the
like it
set
was
like the
supposed to.
mechanics, like the comp. Like so, here's something that's really stupid that annoys me is the fact that so it's a stealth. There's a lot of stealth to this game to a degree, depending on what you're doing. And all the stealth combat where you fight stormtroopers, she's just knocking these guys out, just bare knuckles,
Just bare knuckle
fist
to the
fist to helmet.
Yeah.
And it's like, could we
No.
not have given her something to make
Like a
me
taser.
not even that, just give like
a baton or
like give
know
her
what I mean,
the
like
fucking
something.
thing Boba Fett uses to knock
Oh,
the
no,
fuck out of them.
I was making a Spider-Man
Or
joke.
yeah, Mary Jane, give her the taser.
That's all she has, a taser that turned into a gun.
Taser and plot devices. That's and it's like I said, I want Star Wars games to succeed. Like I'm all about Star Wars games. I enjoy it. Just I was really excited for this when they announced it, and oddly enough, the more I saw of it, the less excited I got for it.
Yeah.
And as always, I mean, you could do the Ubisoft Plus thing where, instead of dropping the whole fucking 70 caboodles, drop 15. If you don't like it, cancel the damn subscription. Because that's probably what I'm going to do for Assassin's Creed. Not that I don't think that, I do think that game will be good, but $70 is still a lot. And if it, that way, if it ends up being a turd, I don't have to mess with it.
I mean, I did have a solid Labor Day weekend in terms of sales.
Yeah.
I can throw a little bit towards it.
But I hope it continues. And like I said, I might try and check it out. There's just the issue is there's so much stuff coming out right now. I have to be very particular with what I choose to invest the time in. Yeah. And right now I'm kind of leaning towards Space Marines just because everything I've seen of that has been overwhelmingly positive.
Yes. I'm not even a Warhammer guy, but I've heard nothing but fantastic things about it.
I don't know jack shit about Warhammer, but this might be the game that makes me get into it. I don't.
So that's to the same point of, I wasn't a D&D guy, but Baldur's Gate kind of sucked me into it, and I was like, oh, okay, like
yeah,
I've heard nothing but fantastic things, and like kind of watched a little bit of it. And,
speaking of which, doesn't their mod menu come out soon, or has come out already?
I think so. It hasn't come out yet, I don't think.
I thought I saw something where it comes out.
No, because I was just playing it the other day. A couple days, 2 days ago, something like that. I got bored. I just wanted to.
It's like me playing Grand Theft Auto 4, It's something I can turn my mind off to.
Yeah. Well, I'm always
that game's driving doesn't hold up. I can tell you that much.
Character, yeah, no,
does not hold up whatsoever.
No,
it's bad.
I remember how bad that was.
Well, see, I remember playing that and going, man, the driving in this is so intuitive. It feels so nice. And then you play GTA 5 for so long where it's like, oh my God, this is what real intuitive driving feels like. And then you go back to that and go, oh my God, all these cars handle like shit.
Like absolute shit. Even go back and play like San Andreas and play that again. And you're like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, it's GTA 5 ruined me on older GTA games. Well, GTA 4 still plays fine. It's just the driving is really rough.
Yeah.
Especially the chase missions where it's like, I'm just wrecking into shit.
I do, yeah. I love GTA 4. but if I never had to drive in that game again, it would be
just give me a mod that
better.
makes GTA 5 driving in GTA 4.
Right, just something. Give me something.
I'm good.
That'll never happen.
No.
No.
And then we had, God, for some reason, Minecraft movie trailer dropped, and it sure is something.
It sure is a Minecraft movie trailer.
It's crazy that someone recreated the trailer
in Minecraft. And I go, hey, I'd watch this. I'm like, yeah, it really screams fever dream. I don't know what takes me out of it more, that the animals look like absolute shit, or that Jason Momoa
has
a weird wig and is like playing a woman. I don't really know.
Yeah.
They don't really explain anything in it, which, I mean, I don't know, I guess what I expected them to explain. It's definitely a cash grab. It's gonna make money. I have no doubt that it'll make money, because
Minecraft
fucking middle schooler and Dr. Disrespect fans will go in droves to see it.
And all the Minecraft YouTubers.
Yeah, all the Minecraft YouTubers will be there, and some can't be there for legal reasons.
Yeah.
I say this as a big man. The guy that blasted Jack Black with the tweet of they picked the most roundest guy to play the box character, or a block character from Minecraft, that's phenomenal. Crazy. It is a choice. I'm kind of getting to the point with Jack Black that I am with Kevin Hart and The Rock, is I'm tired of seeing him in it. And I think we've talked about this before with him as well.
We did. I think either last episode or the episode. Kind of a similar conversation.
This is a movie, a game, and I'm all about like the game movies. I don't know if this is one that I think we needed. Like, this is the equivalent of Battleship to me.
We're Minecraft, because I wasn't a Minecraft person. Were Minecraft fans like clamoring for a Minecraft movie? Like, is that
they wanted a Minecraft movie because basically this movie has been in the works for years.
Doesn't look like it.
So the issue was, like, it's not this movie. It was do the entire movie in Minecraft.
Yeah.
And it would sell like fucking hotcakes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be interesting. Just a live action Minecraft feels weird. But like I said, it'll sell. I know it will, because kids will be all fucking about it. And I remember the stupid shit I watched as a kid that I watched now and go, why did I like this? Yeah. But, and then some gaming news, which I'm trying to fact check this, because I've seen this in a few avenues, but I've not seen. So it looks like they might be bringing Transformer games back. And when I mean Transformer games, I mean like the old Transformer movie games and the Cybertron series.
Okay.
Because originally those got delisted because I think it was Hasbro. It was either Hasbro or Activision lost the rights to it and weren't able to sell it anymore. Then Hasbro said they were fine with it, but then Activision, quote unquote, lost the code for some of these games, which seems like
just bullshit.
Yeah, like there's no way. But there is talks that they're going to relist these games and actually even bring them to Game Pass. Which kind of is convenient timing, because I think, doesn't the Transformer movie come out like in like this month or next month? It's soon, I thought, because I keep seeing more and more trailers for it. I saw that they've dropped all the toys for it and everything, which as far as Transformers go, they actually don't look too bad. It would be kind of convenient timing though. I mean, to relist all those games, and I think it's a smart move, honestly. I'd fucking rebuy the Cybertron series, because I think that's the best Transformer game series they've ever made. but I know there's also supposed to be like a Transformer game coming out that was announced like 5 years ago that they haven't really shown much
I thought
of.
they scrapped it.
Did they?
I
feel
thought.
like a lot of
I could be wrong.
See, I don't remember, because I remember there was a bunch of talk about it because they did the trailer for it was like I think it was Bumblebee waking up or some shit, and then I never saw anything else after that. So strong possibility, because they did that to me with Knights of the Old Republic remake. So
Oh my god, I'm still mad about
fuck you guys for that. It's assholes. And then I guess
Dr. Diddy has returned.
The doctor size elephant in the room. We have talked about this guy more on this podcast than I ever thought we ever would ever.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest, unless something comes to light soon, well, I intend that this will be the last time that I discuss this, because I'm at a point that I'm kind of at a point that I'm tired of talking. But this is something that it's such on the internet. I can't feel doing justice of things going on in the gaming world to not at least mention this shit. So if you're living under a rock in the last week, Dr. Disrespect had his comeback stream to tell the people the truth of what really happened. Show some very interesting ways to do these things. So to start with, he puts out, obviously we talked about the chess checkers video that he just got destroyed in. He posts a video, I think it was the day before the stream, where it's him driving in a boat to the arena that is conveniently placed on an island, which is a rather interesting choice of things to do, considering the last person that had relations with kids also had an island.
Just great advertisement.
Yeah. But then in the tweet itself, he replies to his own tweet as a boomer would, and puts like in weird like SpongeBob gotcha text of like, oh, he's going to Epstein Island. He's a PDF, not a DOC, which I do like that one. That one makes me laugh. And I forget what the other one was, but like trying to like call people out. And so I did my due diligence of journalism, and I watched The Truth after he conveniently played Wordle.
It's truth.
Which was also a move. So basically the stance he's pulling now after his tweet is that the tweet was rage bait, for one. That was the big part of it.
The tweet that he carefully crafted and edited multiple times over the course of a day and a half before he decided to delete it
was all rage bait.
That was all rage bait. He did that on purpose.
Use specific words as trigger words for the media to get them, I guess.
Troll everybody to get them upset.
Yep, it was all a ploy. He fed everybody the information.
Yeah.
We all are stupid.
And he also inappropriately touched little kids to upset everybody on purpose as a
allegedly.
Oh, I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So he pretty much comes out and denies that anything was insane. We spoke on this. He was very careful with the words he used.
No, he was very specific.
Specific, I should say. Yeah, specific. Careful is the wrong word. Specific.
I mean, he was careful, but
carefully stupid.
Is it careful if it's still really not a good look?
Yeah.
Like that's why I didn't want to kind of go with careful, but he did carefully choose the words he used. They're just still not good words.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he specifically said minor and not underage. He specifically mentioned the age of consent and made sure not to say underage. He specifically kept using the phrase legal for all of the.
Yeah, the text messages weren't legally sexting or weren't. So he starts off saying that he never sexted the minor. There was nothing.
He knows the legal definition of sexting.
Yeah, which was a weird way to phrase that.
So it's a weird opening. Yeah.
But yeah, he pretty much starts off just saying that none of it was true, that there was no sexual messages between him and this person, that he used whispers to reach out to a lot of his community, which is an odd choice.
You
get
have a Discord.
Get a
bro.
Discord like a normal person. Calls the guy out that made the tweet about him doing this, saying he knew nothing about the goings on, and then pretty much does a 30-minute time frame of just dates that were, I guess, important to the investigation or what, but pretty much just blaming everybody else.
Shocking.
So I stand by that the easiest way, if this is and I stand by this, if this is not true and it is not what they're painting it as, the easiest way to clear yourself, release the fucking messages.
Yeah.
That clears everything.
Never will.
He will.
Because I'm not saying that like shit like this doesn't get falsified. I'm not saying his specifically, but I'm not saying it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, that's a fucking shame that he lost all this shit. But if it's legit, and as Olas put earlier, if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a pedophile. So yeah. I pray this is the last I have to fucking deal with this, because I'm really over it.
Really, the main thing is even if it all turns out to be bullshit, he still did not handle this even remotely terribly. Okay. Like, there wasn't a single moment where I went, wow, he well, despite the challenges he's currently facing. Yeah. Not at any point did he ever end up doing that. Everything he did came across
weird as fuck.
Weird, but like also condescending from a position of, this isn't the time to do that, because
also maybe don't handle this in character.
Right.
That's
like, this isn't quite the situation that you should be Dr. Disrespect. This would be the time to be Guy Bean. This was like,
stop referring to yourself as the 2-time when you're just a 2-time. Like, it's, like, what are we doing here? How many times are you going to cheat on your wife? Who knows?
5 times.
5 times.
5 times.
5 times. 5 times.
He's gonna do a spin-a-rooney in his next apology.
Oh God!
I almost shook my headphones up.
But yeah, I'm hoping this is the end of it. And we kind of joked because you had a lot of his past friends and I guess, for lack of a better term, coworkers, like Dr. Lupo, who pretty much was like, this guy's a fucking weirdo. Like, I don't give a shit about it. And then Nick Merckx, who would you ever think be a voice of reason in any scenario? Especially here lately, who, because you had the people that criticized him for not dropping him, like you said, dropping him quick enough, and now you have people that are upset that he dropped them at all because he didn't find out the facts. Well, we still don't really know what the facts are. We have two opposing sides of, he did this, and he's saying he didn't do this.
After he said he did it.
Well, after he said he did it.
I don't know who to believe, him or him. Like, it's crazy.
You're telling on yourself, man. Come on. But yeah, so I don't plan to revisit this. I hope this is the nail in the coffin as far as dealing with this situation. Unless the only circumstance I see me bringing this back up is if the messages get leaked. And even then, I might just make a shitty "told you so" Instagram post or something and go, hey, look at, speaking of which, hey, Instagram post. Fucking first one in like months, but I did it.
Yeah, you did.
Mainly making fun of Concord, but
wow, yeah. It was called for.
Yeah, a little bit. And then so we're gonna end tonight. No game tonight. I just didn't have it in me to have you all give me obscure fucking characters for me to try and figure out. But I saw our friends over at 64, their podcast, did another list of the best game performances. I will say this one not as bad as the fighting one.
Yeah.
Still
that
some
other one
choices.
I sent you was pretty rough.
Oh, the
replayable game.
Yeah, most replayable game, which we can talk about that too, because I had these guys, I sent them out today to give, I want them to think of who their top 5 gaming performances. When I say gaming performance, I mean gaming characters' performance as far as like the actor putting on a good portrayal, although I'm not going to make them give me specific actors because I don't know some of these actors who played who.
I'm just saying, number 1, you almost became a Jill sandwich. It's my all-time favorite voice acting line ever. Resident Evil 1 for baby. Let's go.
Oh my god.
So bad it's good kind of thing. You know, like what's another one? What's another one that's so bad it's good?
any of the Duke Nukem ones?
Well, yeah, that too. I'm not a big anime guy, but the Ghost Stories dub, so bad it's good kind of thing, you know, like
now we can't find.
Yeah. Run like there's a big black guy chasing you.
Oh god. Oh, that walk so that DBZ and Bridge could run.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which, funny enough, was done by the Funimation.
Yeah. No, because I actually saw an interview where they talked about that, where it was they did that show with like zero oversight.
Yeah.
And so it was just like them just doing random nonsense
just to see what they could get away with. Yeah.
And it shows, because that's absolutely the feel of that entire dub, is just random nonsense to see what could get away we could get away with.
I kind of want to watch the dub and then go back and watch the actual like original version, because I'm just so
see
curious
what the differences are.
Yeah, like see what they're actually doing.
See, I have that issue with DBZ now, because there's stuff that I remember from a bridge that I think is canon.
Yeah, that is not.
And I go, that's not how this scene goes. Because I know one of them was where Vegeta gets the shit knocked out of him by Trunks. And he's like in the pool of water. And in my mind, I still think that his conversation is like, I'm feeling this overwhelming of pride, but it's, by rage. And I go, that's not what he fucking says in that. And then Mr. Popo is 100% better in a bridge than he is in the actual show.
Oh man.
But yeah, so we're gonna do our top fives, and then I'm gonna go through and just tell you all the lists that they had as far as the top 10. Like I said, not as egregiously bad as the fighting one. Like, there's some good ones that I do agree with on here. There's also some ones that are good, but I wouldn't have put them on here. So who would like to go first? I can go first if you would rather me go first.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can go first.
So I'm doing 5-1, and so for me, my 5 is kind of a twofer, because both of them are in this game, and I just think they do equally great performances. Is Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy as Joker and Batman
in the Arkham series.
I mean, Kevin Conroy alone, I can't, even when I read Batman comic books, that's the voice I hear. Yeah. And Mark Hamill for the same as Joker. Like, when I read Joker stuff, like, I hear it in Mark Hamill's voice. And just such
the voices I grew up on.
Yeah.
Like those are, yeah.
And shout out respect to Mark Hamill, who has pretty much retired from doing that voice because Kevin Conroy can't do Batman because of his passing. So I respect that. But yeah, so that's an easy 5 for me. Doesn't even touch a lot of the ones below it.
Yeah.
I can't remember the guy's name, but it's the guy that voices Spider-Man in the games. I think
Yuri Lowenthal.
Yeah, I think he puts on a fantastic portrayal of Spider-Man, even to the point kind of with the Kevin Conroy, where now that's kind of the voice I hear, like, and think
I would be okay with him like being a long-standing like voice of Spider-Man.
I could see just from here on out letting him be, because I've seen where they've done dubs or AI snippets of him from like the Web of Shadows games, where they input his voice lines into that. I'm like, oh my god, this actually does kind of feel better,
right,
with him as it.
Yeah.
Number 3 is actually one that I share with the list they did, is Arbiter. I think Arbiter is one of the best performances for me as a big Halo fan, especially. Like, as much as I love Master Chief, just the speeches Arbiter gives throughout that series are just so well performed, and just really, you can feel the connection to it, especially with him. Because you go from this guy being, inherently the bad guy of this series, to like, oh, like I understand where this guy comes from, and like, he's a good kind of leader type. 2 is, as much as I don't talk about this game, I do think this is inherently one of my favorite villains of video games. Is Handsome Jack from Borderlands. I've always liked, even now when I go back and play that game, I still just so much enjoy his portrayal of that character. And as far as bad guys go, just such a nonsense bad guy, kind of almost Joker-ish as far as his portrayal. And then 1 for me is actually a relatively new one for me because I've just recently gotten, like in the last year, got into these games. But I love the guy that voices Kratos, especially in the new ones. Yeah. It's just such a good, like, I don't know how to describe it, but it amplifies that game so much more just hearing him that it's hard for other games to me to compete for that.
The amount of emotion that he puts into a semi-unemotional character at times, but then, that's the whole thing about those two, the last 2 God of War games, is that it is him kind of growing and
it's not to say that like the guy that did Kratos for the original ones was bad. It's just that's a very static character as far as his portrayal.
Well, he did that rage and anger really well.
Whereas this, he just it was a judge. I feel awful for
Christopher
Judge.
Yes.
Like you said, you've kind of, as the game progresses, feel that growth in just how he is and portrays that character.
I mean, I've seen some of the behind the scenes of him when he gets the blades for the first time, and he like breaks down, and like actually cries, and holy shit.
Yeah, a lot of commitment to that actor. He is very good at what he does. All right, which of you two? I think the film Porter is going to go last.
No, he's going to go next.
Okay. Because I don't have like a specific order because I never.
That's fine. You don't have to. I did this on my personal order. I just
I'm going to steal one from yours though immediately.
Yeah.
Christopher Judge as Kratos.
Yeah, I mean it's just so good.
Spoiler.
It's gonna be
that's in there for me too. Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of PlayStation games.
Oh,
that makes sense. Okay. It's a lot of story-driven type of.
Yeah. I was gonna put Yuri Lowenthal, but like with Mark Hamill, he's not the voice Yuri Lowenthal will always be Sasuke Uchiha. So
that doesn't help either too. I do forget that. I do forget he's Sasuke.
90s Spider-Man will be like the voice. Between that and Spectacular Spider-Man, those 2 voices are the top Spider-Man voices for me.
You mean Drake Bell's not that voice you hear?
No, fuck out of here. Never. Let's see. Jen from Ghost of Tsushima.
That's a good one. Top. Yeah.
That's a great performance.
I would put that at a 6. Yeah, that's
let's see.
God, I'm upset that I didn't think about that one too. I didn't even think about Jen.
Because like games I've played recently, it would be a lot of single player games, but hate that. Because I feel like on the spot, because you said top game performances, I only thought of.
Well, your personal opinion on top game. I mean, it doesn't have to.
Cortana is also on that list.
Okay. So other end of that. Yeah. She's the least annoying AI voiceover in any game, I would say.
Yeah. Because she's... I want to say she sounds so human because she is human, but fuck.
Within reason,
Yeah. I want to say Master Chief, but there hasn't...
See, I thought that too, but he doesn't really have that many lines. Like, outside of Infinite, which I think he has the most lines in any game he's ever been in. Like, he has a lot of good one-liners, but it's
not like would I sit and listen to him talk to me in the game.
Because, I mean, still, like, one of my favorite, like, video game quotes is him where he's like, permission to leave the station. What for? To return their bomb back. Like, that's such a great line.
Cool, but
like, it's like one of the few he has in that series.
Yeah. Oh, easy dub here. Arthur Morgan.
Yeah.
I don't know how he
that's
didn't come to mind.
That's a good one.
Another one on my list.
It would be in my top 10, but not top 5. Because I do like his portrayal. I like Marston's better though.
Yeah.
There's just something about John.
Yeah, Dutch. Fucking
I got a plan, John.
I do love Dutch though. Like voice acting wise, I do think that
like from my voicing. And number 5, we'll bring it to GTA. CJ. I don't know why I like CJ.
I'm more particular to a Nico, but I get it.
What you call me? Come on, you couldn't not expect that shit.
Can't say nothing around here.
Can't say what?
What?
Calm down. That's a stretch, and you know it.
You put a lot of emphasis on that end, though. It was weird.
My god!
Yeah. Listen, we've had enough stretching this week. Okay, I don't need.
Oh Lord! All right, so that was. Come on, Olas, figure out what you got here. Let's see what.
So all right, so I'll get the two that we've already kind of set out of the way. Obviously, Christopher Judge for God of War and Roger Clark for Arthur Morgan. Were both fantastic. I mean, you could kind of cheat and just say both games had just phenomenal all around voice acting.
Yeah.
If that's not kind of cheating, if we're just talking gaming. Kid Atreus is one thing. I think more adult Atreus was, he played the part he was supposed to play.
Yeah.
In terms of the annoying kid at times and the just kind of trying to figure out everything, and like he's kind of as lost as we are at times, so that's always fun. Because then you can even say like Mimir and Freya and
say Mimir is good. I do like Mimir.
Yeah, and honestly, I mean, even Odin and Thor, like Ryan Hurst, who
guy from the Good Doctor.
Yeah.
Oh,
the guy who plays Odin.
Yeah, he's from Good Doctor.
Yeah. I mean, and
I don't
thousands of other things.
Yeah, I know. That was like the first thing I seen him in.
Yeah. Or Ryan Hurst, who you would recognize from Remember the Titans, who you would remember if you watched like Sons of Anarchy. He was in that at one point.
Oh, that's right. He was in Sons of Anarchy. That's
right. So, I mean, I was pretty intrigued when I found out Thor. He did really great with that. So the voice acting in that was just phenomenal. I go between two different characters for Final Fantasy 16. Both Clive and Sid had a really good, like, kind of bounced off of each other type of thing.
Yeah.
I can't remember the voice actor for Sid, but he is like a actor you would recognize in certain things for an English actor. But he did really well in that. I think he kind of stole the show for as long as he was in the game the whole time. And Ben Starr did really good with Clive. Another one of those kind of like so bad it's good kind of things. Saints Row 2, for the wackiness of it. Daniel Day Kim, I think, as Johnny Gat is kind of just really fun. If you look at Daniel Day Kim, he does not look like that kind of person to be as like off the wall goofy. He always has a more like, serious to his face. And now every time I see him in and I hear his voice, I just think of so I always think of that, which is really fun. Huh?
Sorry. I started thinking of Mulan for a quick second.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure those are not the same people.
Weird connection because they're Asian, racist.
Yeah.
Okay.
God.
And then I have one more. right?
I'm honestly not sure because you named so many people that I kind of lost who was.
Sorry.
We
did God of War, Red Dead 2,
and then you picking
Final
2
Fantasy
from
16.
Final Fantasy.
Yep.
I just kind of lumped them both in.
Okay,
I would
so
give
then you'd
the
have
edge to
2.
Sid. I would give the edge to Sid. Well, and then we did Saints Row 2 just now.
Oh, okay, yeah, just now, yeah.
With
I was here for that.
Daniel Day Kim. Yeah.
Yeah, I was here for that.
Yeah. It's like the last thing we were just talking about.
Yeah, so 1 would be.
So I mean, I didn't rank these in specific order. If I had to, I would probably put Christopher Judge first, followed by Roger Clark as number 2. I would say, oh shit, Troy Baker for Last of Us.
As Joel?
Joel. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Troy Baker. Yeah. I had to think for the second. So it kind of the same spirit as you. I went kind of PlayStation heavy, but story driven games wise, I mean, that's where you're gonna see a lot of it. And like if you look at older like voice acting stuff, not always the best.
Yeah.
That's why I made the joke about Resident Evil 1, just awful, fucking hilariously awful voice acting.
At least they were consistent.
And for the longest time, voice acting was just so phoned in and bad. And even though it's one of my more favorite games, Final Fantasy X had a lot of like campiness to it. For the first Final Fantasy that had voice acting, it was still pretty rough at times, a little touch and go of like cringiness. And I can't.
So I kind of feel by Kingdom Hearts, like some of the voice acting.
Yeah,
that's a little like, ooh.
Yeah. So like a lot of those older games don't have the greatest of voice acting.
Yeah. No, voice acting, especially in the last decade, has been kind of
a lot better.
The rise of it.
The rise of people who care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're putting the effort in. They're putting the right emotion in. I mean, Yuri Lowenthal in the last Spider had a lot of emotion in that game. Had a lot of emotion in the first one too.
Yep.
Especially at the end. Even I know I'm the Final Fantasy guy, but the Final Fantasy VII cast for the remake and
yeah,
I thought for the main character wise have actually been really good. And I've enjoyed it, especially because it's a game from 27 years ago that a lot of people have been excited for, and I think you have to really nail it. They did a great job with that. So.
Yeah. Put a funny auto. You were mentioning Halo Cast earlier, Porto. Whoever the guy that does the multiplayer stuff, best in-game announcer.
Double kill.
That guy that's still childhood sound effects for me. So this is the list they had. And like I said, overall, not a terrible list. I like kind of doing
parts of this list because I remember Arbiter being,
which is weird because I'll get into kind of as we go through. So they did a top 10. One of these, I don't know who this character is. So if you're in the comments, you know who it is, and you think I should know who it is, fucking bite me. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have the time like I used to. But at number 10, they did Commander Shepard for Mass Effect.
Okay.
Which is
okay.
It's not terrible. Yeah. I mean, that's
that's not the actual.
What?
The gamer poop. I always just think of the gamer poop reference of Commander Shepard when he ends everything with "We'll bang." Okay, like that's. It's again like how you were talking about a bridge. Like I know that it's not canon, but in my head, every time I hear Commander Shepard, I go, "We'll bang." Okay.
What we're doing now?
But yes, Commander Shepard at number 10 from the Mass Effect series. They had Yuri as Peter Parker's number 9.
Okay.
Joel and Ellie from Last of Us, they did a twofer on that one as number 8. This was I don't disagree with this, but I don't think I ever would have picked these two people. But in watching and playing this game, I don't disagree with it. But it's Henry and Delilah from the Firewatch game.
Oh, yeah.
That is a very emotionally suspenseful game that really their voice acting does play into that a lot.
Yeah.
So as someone that I wouldn't have thought to pick that, I don't disagree with that. That is a very good performance.
Yeah.
So this is the one I don't know. It's a Hellblade character. I know that. Senua, Senua.
No idea.
Senua.
Yeah.
Because they said it was a controversial one, so I didn't know what.
I'd have to. So I'm not familiar with the game very well. I know that I know what your Senua's Wrath or whatever, right? Is the
So I don't personally know it, so I can't really give a judgment on that.
Yeah.
This was another odd one that I wouldn't have picked or would have thought to pick, but Lee Everett from the Walking Dead series. I don't feel like that's enough of a voice acting performance to go, yeah, that's one of the best. I just feel like there's other ones that are better
in that game.
Yeah, you know, because even they go on to say like Clementine kind of becomes a better because she, you know, kind of has more growth to her through the rest of it.
Well, yeah, she's just there longer.
Yeah,
so that helps.
Well, yeah, I mean, it does help, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then number 4 after Olas's Heart, pretty much they just say the entire. I did it again.
The entire Red Dead Redemption.
No, close. Baldur's Gate.
Oh, okay.
The starting cast.
Oh,
like
for the main characters. Yeah.
Because they picked
yeah.
Asterion specifically, but he gave him it was just the entirety of that starting cast.
The main character, like whatever the
whatever you
origin
call
characters.
Yeah,
that's what it was called. Yeah.
And the number 3 after my own heart, Handsome Jack from the Borderlands series. 2, they go, you'll never guess 2 because it's so out there, and it hurt my feelings because it's Arbiter. No, it's Arbiter. It's like, is that really that out there? Yeah. Like,
Dave.
Like that's a really well established character that everybody liked. And then
you'll never guess.
Yeah,
one of the most known characters from like.
Which, in all fairness, they do pick Master Chief first. Which even for Halo, I still don't think I would have picked Master Chief first.
No, Arbiter definitely had, and as somebody
literally has more lines.
Somebody who hasn't played a ton of Halo, Arbiter stood out to me a ton. So,
because I've even seen jokes that the cast from ODST together has more lines in that game than Master Chief does in the entirety of that series.
Yeah.
And the number 1 was Arthur Morgan from the Red Dead Redemption series. Cool. So I feel like the only things I would change with this is I would take Lee off, because I think you could replace Lee with the fact that Judge doesn't make this list blows my mind.
Yep.
They're fans of the original Kratos, that's why.
Maybe.
Which, I mean, I'm a fan of original Kratos too, but I think Christopher Judge really
does a great job.
Yeah.
But I think
I don't think, and not to knock TC Carson at all.
Yeah.
I just don't know that it would have given the same feeling if it was him again.
Pretty sure it was, because I feel like his voice has changed enough that it would be like you can tell that he has aged with the character.
Yeah, right. But even this character is not solely just the yelling rage type. Like, it's a very different type of Kratos where it's that very calm.
But KJ Carson can do that.
I guess
it's not like he can only do the yelling bit.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure his voice would lend perfectly to that. It's just they wanted a different voice.
Yeah,
entirely. Just so you don't think of that Kratos.
And what's funny is these guys had a real trouble with this list, and they put out a bunch of great suggestions. Like, there was a lot that I don't disagree. Like, I think one that could have made this list was Marcus Phoenix from the Gear series. I think that character, him and Dom both are really well performed characters for that entire series.
Yeah.
Less so his sons in the later ones, but you know. the Hellblade one, I guess. At least I don't know enough of that to give it. I'm trying to think some of the other suggestions they had that I was like, yeah, like that's a really good, well done one.
I know they're also Final Fantasy fans, so I think they guessed 16 at one point.
Well, they pretty much were like any specific people from like a few Final Fantasies specifically. Yeah. I know they were surprised like Mario wasn't on here, which in all fairness, he doesn't really have voice lines. That's the way I took it. Is that you're looking for people that actually have consistent voice lines through the games, you know, and not just like sound effects. Because they said like Zelda 2, and like Zelda doesn't really have that many lines of dialogue. I'm trying to think what some of the other ones were. I tell you, there's some from Destiny 2 that I think could have made this list, or Destiny in general that could have made this list, because you know, like
Zavala. Peter Dinklage's Ghost was really great.
Hey, you know what? You know what? I'm on that minority that I absolutely love Dinklebot. I preferred Peter Dinklage over Nolan North. But see, there's another one. Nolan North is not on this list whatsoever, and you know, the multitude of characters that guy's portrayed in video games, like one of them would have had to have made it.
Nathan Drake.
Yeah, that's what I say. Nathan Drake was.
You would think like he would have popped up on there.
But yeah, and then the list you were talking about was the replayability. They did a replayability list, and
I want to know what the thought like what their I can't think of the word for it, but like what their criteria was. Yeah.
Because like some of them I'm just like curious. Well, it's like, to me, on that list, I don't understand how World of Warcraft isn't number one.
Right.
Like that to me is the most replayable game that they've ever made ever. Outside of maybe Skyrim.
True.
Which Skyrim is on that list. I will say they do put Skyrim on that list. It's criminally low, but it is on that list.
The comments for it were funny because it's like, oh, there's so many. They're guessing so many story games, and I'm like, yeah. But story games can be replayable. Like I don't understand why people think that you can't replay story games. Well, and then Skyrim is on there, which is
a story game.
A story game.
And what's bad is they give great suggestions. Because they do like Baldur's Gate, because there's dialogue choices. They do Dragon Age.
There's multiple endings.
Yeah, but I even think like, okay, like our multiplayer game's not equivalent to this, because you could say like Halo or Call of Duty, where there's that replay because you're constantly playing. You know, it's kind of like you said. What's the criteria? Are we defining like the story of the game is replayable?
What do they count? Yeah, it's.
Because even World of Warcraft, in that same manner, it's all multiplayer to some degree that you're replaying through or replaying quests and raids. And I mean, Destiny was a good choice that they gave that that has a ton of replayability. And they handle like pros. I got to give it to those guys. They're hilarious when they deal with it, because it's just so. What the fuck is this? Yeah. You know who in these gaming magazines are actually doing these? It's these guys that have never played games before. Like,
well, guess who made the list? Do you remember who made that list?
I don't remember offhand. No,
just guess. Because I fucking hate him. So just guess.
Dr. Just.
No, yeah, well, him too.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of who you fucking hate outlandishly.
Game Rant.
Oh, Game Rant. Yeah, Game Rant. Can't be Game Informer anymore because they fucking shut down. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
fucking
favorite fucking people.
Fucking twat.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck.
But that is for your weekly update, or technically bi-weekly, because we're doing update of all things.
We swing both ways on the weekly.
Yeah. Both Monday to Sunday. Now for those that were waiting for the wrestling part, this is your time to shine. A lot of wrestling also to cover, because I got halfway through doing this list and asked them, "Hey, is there anything else you guys want to talk about?" And Porter goes, "Wasn't there a pay-per-view?" I go, "Oh shit, there was."
Yeah, we were gonna kind of skip over Bash at Birth.
Do you want to knock all the AEW stuff out first, or do you want to do it in order. I wasn't sure if you want to do an order it came out, but
we can work backwards if we want.
I guess that's true.
Yeah.
Start with AEW, then we go to NXT Bash.
Yeah, that's true. We could do that. Unfortunately,
again, we don't really have to.
We didn't really all get to sit down and watch these like we used to, or usually do. It was one of those kind of weeks. But I think all of us kind of caught, if not all, the highlights of some of these matches.
Yes.
Start with this. What was your all's match of the night? Because I posted mine
in the AEW.
Yeah.
Oh, I am of the minority of liking this match. Swerve and Hangman.
I can understand why it would be match of the. I emotionally I can understand the
story's there.
That I'm fine with. I could do without certain things.
You mean
the syringe thing? I could do without all the time.
So what was the premise of that? Was it like
he drugged him?
Was that what it was? Just like drugs?
He didn't even inject anything. Just stuck a fucking needle.
That too. He kind of just stuck a needle in his jaw and just hit him with a fucking chair.
And then, even then, again, we can talk about, it was a gimmick chair, and
it's still a fucking chair.
It's still a chair shot to the head. And now, funny enough, I don't know if
safest place to work, guys.
They're like coming after Ricky Morton.
Oh, really?
From my God, Midnight Express.
Yeah.
Because he was like, can we please stop with the headshots for chair shots to the head?
Yeah.
That's all he said. Not even like oh my God, this place is so stupid. Because he's worked with them before.
Yeah.
So like he didn't bash AEW, and still like the weirdos went and it's a gimmick chair, like bro, don't tell the guy who's been in the business for 40, 50 years like how the business works. When you're just some dickhead on the couch, like that kind of irritates me to an extent. But like, yeah, listen. And he even said, like, if you kind of scroll down to all the people, it's gimmick. He's like, listen, I have to take medication for a lot of the things that I did to my body years. I have memory loss due to chair shots, especially unprotected chair shots. Like these are legitimate concerns, and I understand, like, hey, these guys are putting on a show, but they're still human beings, man. Like I don't know how many times we have to have this talking point of these are still people at the end of the day, and like, maybe that makes me the old guy compared to all these like 22-year-olds that are just like, yeah, we want to maimed. It's like, I don't.
No,
I'm all for like a hardcore match and some fun spots and different things and some weapons and some whatever. Like I'm all for. Listen, I grew up in the Attitude Era. I'm all for all that shit. But like, yeah, there are some things that once they start looking at it, we have to look at it and go, hey, that's not okay. Also, wasn't there like a year ago, like a whole list of things that had to get approved? Like certain moves and certain spots that had to get approved by Tony before they happened.
Yeah, like Real Glass.
I feel like that either went out the window or Tony just fucking approves everything. Or I would love to see the shit that he hasn't. Like, I would love to hear about the things he just doesn't approve if he's approving these things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm like you. I think this was the most emotionally invested match. There was just.
I mean, they've been feuding for a year, and it's been a solid feud.
Yeah.
I would like it to end soon.
At some point.
Because, I mean, I feel like they probably have to have one more thing.
This is the sixth,
maybe. Maybe even not. But
there's their fourth match.
I'm good.
Fourth technically, because you count the triple threat with Joe.
Yeah.
But this is their third singles match.
Gotcha.
Which the report is Swerve is taking some time off, so this could lead to Hangman having a run, maybe gaining back the AEW championship, retiring Danielson or something like that. and then that's when they do the big swerve versus
like final blow off of
yeah.
And that's fine. That's fine because again, these guys have, they have done some things I didn't like the last time. The whole drinking the blood, fucking whatever the fuck
Yeah,
thing.
no. If you're not a fan of hardcore matches, I can understand why people hate this. I understand the chair shot thing, but like people in the industry going, this is a bad idea. But if they agreed, it's the same thing with Kenny Omega taking Tiger Driver and him landing kind of awkwardly on his neck and head. It's like he wanted this. He said, "I am okay with I'm taking this risk." So I'm pretty sure
at some point I do feel like they need to like step in and be like, hey, so that you're no longer crippled, like we're gonna just tell you no. And like I do think that they need to have some of that. Again, I know that's the WWE way. Like, no, man, sometimes you just gotta look out for fucking people and be like, hey man, I know that you want to do this brand thing, but maybe don't break your neck.
Yeah. I just think the overabundance or over reliance on it becomes an issue.
Yes.
Like unprotected chair shots, it should never be this is a consistent thing. This should be a one-time thing out of a year. Like one person's taking one unprotected chair shot at maximum.
And like
what's funny though is I'm at the point that like I'm like you, Les. I grew up, towards the end of the Attitude Era and into the Ruthless Aggression, where it's like, yeah, I don't really need head chair shots anymore. Like I'm cool with that. Like I'm cool as that as a rule, just not doing, especially unprotected, like just chair
the NFL
shots.
had to do certain things to prevent as many concussions as possible. We can sit here and be like, oh, the pussification of the NFL because they're not fucking murdering these guys on. Yeah, that's the point, you fucking dummy. Like,
to prove how dangerous it is, that was the ending of the match. It was no pin. It was no submission.
They ended, and like, I like that decision in that sense. Like they made it something that it wasn't just like and then he kicked out at one and then fucking
that I would have hated. That would have took the air out of it. But just if you're doing a chair shot to the head, it should be, we're not doing this consistently. We're doing this very sparingly, and it has to be deserved of that moment. Because it goes to the credence, like, they really do hate each other to the fact that Hangman would do a chair shot to the head unprotected.
Right.
So this is one of the few times where this makes sense. All the other times, like when fucking MJF took a chair shot to Cody and busted the back of his head. No, it was Sean Spears.
Yeah,
Sean Spears.
Yeah,
and his whole chair thing that he was doing.
Yeah,
chairman. Yeah,
that shit was unnecessary, and I hated that.
Like, and it did nothing. Like that's
Sammy Guevara throwing a chair at Matt Hardy's head, and it busted him open.
And then dropping him on his head, and then
that
was more of a miss. They missed.
Yeah, still
that's more. That's.
But that goes more to the like, you guys need to be smarter.
Yeah.
Shit, like, and this is the same. Like, you can gimmick so many different things, or maybe they used a different material for the chair. I don't know. Whatever, right? Like the main part, the seat part of the chair, pretty much kind of snapped off after he hit him. So like, okay, it was gimmick
as loose as possible. So as soon as it makes impact, it just breaks.
Yeah.
So it's not like a hard hit. It's just like a quick. You're tapping your head, but still, it's still
not
unprotected head.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. For $100, let me get a gimmick chair, and as hard as I fucking can, just
swing it at me.
Just swing it at you.
Yeah, I'll do it.
I'll even let you pick the direction I do it. If you want like an over the head or like a baseball swing.
That's why they cut. Because I like the way they did this. They didn't emphasize the chair shot. They emphasized the sound of the chair shot. Because when they did it, you hear it, it's zoomed out. So it's not like we're glorifying the chair shot.
Here's my thing, and it takes me back because I remember watching this and just thinking, I don't think I ever need to see this again. was Mick Foley fucking handcuffed and just taking
just going.
chair
Oh, the I
shot
Quit match.
after
Yeah.
chair shot after, and like, that's just, I don't ever want to see something like that again.
No.
Like, that's just so not needed. It was, you know, and you even think of that match, like, did we really need to do it like 9 times?
Yeah,
Like, I feel like,
I'm like, no,
I feel like 3 solids the point. Like, you know, and even like you had like who was it? Lance, oh, what was his name?
Storm?
Had the really, really great super kick.
Lance Storm.
Storm, yeah. We're like refusing to take the chair shot, and he's just like, hit me in the face with it. Like, whoa, what?
No, that was Shamrock.
Was it Shamrock? Okay, I had some reason I had it in my head that it was
With the
was,
Rock. Yeah, he was on
hit
his
me in the
knees,
face and I'll
told him
sell
to
it.
hit him. Yeah. But like, you need to fucking swing it, and I'm like,
pass.
nope.
You know, and especially you know,
that's one of the worst looking chair shots I've ever seen.
Oh yeah,
because he fucking swung right in the face at him. He didn't hit him on the top of the head or nothing. He swung right at his face. And we don't really talk about it, but like, The Rock is kind of underrated when it comes to swinging that fucking chair. Like, he was swinging that stuff.
yeah,
like
fucking hitting home runs with that motherfucker.
Match of the night. The sensible answer would be Ospreay Pac.
Yeah,
which was also my answer.
A great match.
Great match. Again, there are certain things that I don't love that Ospreay does. But we talked about it last time. It's the constant turning your back to your opponent and like standing there for 10 seconds and then like, all right, I'm gonna do this move, guys, and it's like, all right, well, now I'm just gonna kick you in the dick and like, I don't like, you know. But I mean, both guys can fucking go.
Yeah. No, I mean it just, that was to me just the nicest looking match of the night as far as the moments to it. Like you said, the standing around is a bit annoying, but it's clearly not going to change anytime soon that's going to stop. So take it with what you get.
That's what it is. MJF and Garcia was a weird. It was a weird match with a shit finish, especially because
I think a DQ finish would have been better.
Well, I mean, even if you're like, okay, it had a the distraction with the low blow and the whatever, but I'm like, but these guys are like they're talking about killing each other, right? So we just had this conversation about Punk and Drew at SummerSlam. Whereas, like, these guys are like trying to murder each other, and then they just kind of have a match.
Yeah.
And then it's like a weird. I don't know. Like, if they're gonna have more matches, which obviously, so then they can kind of bump it up a little bit more. Okay, like I'll hold out hope for it. But in the meantime, it just was a weird match with a weird finish.
I don't mean to interrupt you. Do you think you could move your mic a little closer to your face because you were kind of cutting out?
How bad?
Like
a good chunk.
At some points, every other word.
Oh, maybe because I was turning that way.
Yeah.
You think that? Okay. Yeah. So
I've been trying to pay attention to you as it happens to see like when it is that it exactly happens.
Is this better?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just I think I was just turning that way so that.
But yeah, I'm like you. I enjoyed the match till the ending of it, and it felt very unfulfilled. To have.
Can I also say something? Sorry, I don't mean to.
No, you're fine.
Has MJF felt very underwhelming since he's come back? To anybody else?
This match in particular, yes.
Not match wise. I'm not talking match quality. I mean like on the mic.
No.
He threw out that like weird Ozempic line last week, and I was just like, this is the best we got now. Like, you're so used to him being
like
better, huh?
Like so cutthroat.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
you're like it cuts deep, but this feels like the cheapest thing you could say.
I wouldn't say in every avenue, but yes, I do think that there's promos in particular that I think could have been better, but I do think there's some that are good.
I think him and Osprey stuff was great. And again, I think match wise, he's been fine.
Yeah.
I have no problem with his like in ring work. It was just like he still feels like he almost feels like he's trying too hard to kind of get back to that weird, terrible face turn kangaroo kick fucking
Which he still
MJF.
does.
Like, yeah.
Still did.
But
Yeah, I mean, I could see it. It depends on the scenario. There's aspects of it that's been on par, and there's some that like you said, the Ozempic kind of promo where it's like, like you
Really didn't need it.
could have hit something a little harder there, you know.
Right.
What did you all think of the Fatal 4-Way or whatever they wanted to call it?
Yeah, I mean,
it's a setup match. It's a fine match. It's just setting up for Takeshita versus Okada.
Yeah,
which will be
a great
fantastic. Yeah.
No, I went in because I wasn't sure, but no, I really enjoyed that match as far as the matches go. But yeah, I do agree. I think it's just the setup for that, which, like you said, will be when do you think they'll play that one out?
Wrestle Dream.
Wrestle Dream.
Well, that would make sense.
Wrestle Dream being the next pay-per-view. Yeah. In October, yeah. So
it's just bad that
they have some time.
I still lose track of who has what belts and how many fucking belts there
are. You have.
Did they defend the trios this pay-per-view?
No.
It was just them doing the tag.
They're doing with that now.
Yeah, that's gonna be a conversation. Because 2/3 of it all three were in matches.
Yes.
Yeah, because Pac was
Osprey
and the tag.
Yeah, that was a weird tag belts. It's a weird match too.
Danielson's match was good, although I just don't like Jack Perry. I'm gonna be honest. I just can't.
I get it.
It's not my type.
He's a hit or miss kind of wrestler.
Yes.
You don't like him, you don't like him, and it's perfectly reasonable.
And before people say it, no, it's not because the CM Punk thing. I didn't care for him before all that shit happened, and I just don't.
Yeah, because I've gone back and forth with him. Just like he's hit or miss for me. Like sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, he's doing pretty solid, and other times I'm like, okay. Yeah. Like when he first started going heel and he broke away from Jurassic Express, I was like, all right, let's see something out of him. Like let's see him put in some different work. Like try something different. Get rid of that weird like Tarzan fucking look and
Jungle Boy.
Yeah, like all right, fine, let's do it. Yeah.
The wave thing, yeah.
So I'm like, all right, let's see. And at times it was okay, at times it wasn't. This was, I mean, again, you're in the ring with Daniels, so I mean,
you can't have a bad match.
You can't have a bad match, and he won't let you. Like that's
especially on his retirement tour, he will fucking kill you before you have a bad match.
And like, how many people can you say really had like just an overall stinker of a match with him? Like, not a lot. And I mean, you'd really have to be like bottom tier in ring caliber human being put on a shit match with him. So,
and of course afterwards you had, which I didn't see this coming. I don't know if it was set up well, but it caught me by surprise. The Blackpool Combat Club outside of, what is his
Moxley.
name? No, Yuta.
Oh,
decided to turn on.
I did like the way they set that up, where
give him the big hug.
You see Moxley kind of give the nod to Claudio, and then Pac is kind of hugging Yuta, and then turns it into like restraining him.
Yeah,
that was kind of cool.
Although it was a very really weak restraint.
Well, he put him in like a triangle hold. Yeah.
So it'll be Moxley, Claudio, Pac, Marina Shafir.
Weird.
Well, they've always talked about Marina joining Blackpool Combat Club. Well, Moxley at least talked about it.
Right.
Pac, given the fact that the Lucha Brothers are probably gone from AEW and going to WWE, he needs a new group. Hopefully, they change the name.
Yeah, I mean they should have once Regal was gone anyway.
Yeah, but
It will be right back.
I think the turn was subtle because when Moxley came back, they kind of asked about it.
Yeah.
And just they like, well, he's here, so we don't really know. We talked to him about it, and that's about it. So
Yeah.
we're probably gonna get a Mox Danielson match at least at one point.
I will say the turn was really well done. I could have done without the fucking mafia hit bag over the face.
That just seems like a Moxley thing.
Just
to do,
seemed a little like that was the most unprotected chair shot move they could have done. Where it's like, yeah, you could just hit some finishers on him and been done with it. Like that's
fuck that. Choke him out.
Kill him. Just, that
seems more like a Danielson thing to do.
Yeah, too. Yeah. I want you to choke me out with a bag.
I want you to really take me out. I don't want to breathe.
Sorry. But even then, like, that was the overall theme of kind of this pay-per-view was just people killing people.
Violence. Yeah.
Because even like, you had what is it? Nightingale.
Yeah.
Get fucking choked out with a chain. I was like, oh my god. Like,
wait, did you see the table spot of that match though?
Yes.
So because Willow's trying to move, but Statlander's leg still meets the back of her head, whips her, and she just goes down.
That like this last week has been the week for like bad table spots, because you had that, and then you had NXT, and then you had Raw, where what from Kabuki Warriors.
Oh, Kairi saying,
well, take that announce table to the face, and
she cut like she's fine. She got
staples. Which I was curious because I couldn't tell if it was the eye that got hit or if it was like it was hit above and blood was going into the eye.
It from when I initially saw, I'm like, this is top of the eye.
Yeah, she was a badass with it though. Like where she was just like
she's just smiling,
all right, bitch, damn. like all right, cool.
All started playing, kicked off.
But no, All Out was good. I do think All In was better, but it's also the setup's different. It's a quicker turnaround, and you know you're having to set matches up a lot quicker. We said this earlier, and I'm sure somebody somewhere gonna go, oh, you hate on her every week. I'm sorry, the Monet match was just boring. I didn't give a shit. You know what the coolest part about that match was? Their gear. Yeah.
And everyone's complaining about that because everyone's saying, oh, she stole from Celine Bay. I want people to realize Puerto Rico and one is doing Puerto Rico, the other one's the United States. Just because they have the same colors does not mean they're doing the same exact thing.
But like I said, I did really like the gear. I'm trying really hard because I really liked Sasha Banks.
Yeah.
I'm just not as captivated with her at AEW than I was with her at WWE. And I don't know if it's writing, if it's her. I think we kind of said that the people she's putting the matches on are kind of, for me, is that they're really not putting her against a really good face.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is 2 pay-per-views back to back that I just didn't care. It wasn't inherently a bad match. It wasn't a good match. It was just really in the middle. So I hope we keep working towards it getting better, and we find somebody for her to really display her heelness towards. But I don't know, man.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe Jamie Hayter.
Yeah.
Or whoever they put next.
I'd be curious who the next person they're kind of gonna pair her with is gonna be. But yeah, so that was All Out. And then did we say we were working backwards? We were gonna do NXT.
Yeah,
and then,
so NXT No Mercy.
Which was
okay.
I do. Here's something that I did like. They finally shut some of these people up about the damn TNA NXT thing, where you had a title holder TNA beat a NXT wrestler, and it was a phenomenal match. Wesley and him put on just a fantastic match. I do love his what is it they called it? The cutter he does.
I
forget what the name of it was, but man, it's just such a brutal and good looking cutter. But yeah, I mean, he wins he won that here. In my hometown, he won the X division, or wins. Sorry, I didn't realize I hadn't said his name yet. Won the X division title here in my hometown on their pay per view, and then proceeded to defeat Wesley at the pay per view for No Mercy. You had Perez put on a good match and retained her title. I don't think she ever either. I don't think there's anything she's done that I've not been like gone, oh, this is awful. I think she consistently puts on pretty good matches.
She is the new gen AJ Lee.
Yeah. And I imagine if she doesn't get called up soon, she's gonna hold this title for a while.
No, she's losing it to Julia.
Oh, you think so? Oh, I guess that's true. I did forget that I did forget
they are doing that match at for their debut of CW.
That's right. I forgot that she showed up.
Yep. It's all built. It was all building to that.
I did see what Valkyria returned.
Yep. To help out what is her name?
Twice actually, because she helps out. Well, she kind of helps out Vega and then gets her shit rocked.
Yeah.
And then helps I'm like
Taylor
you,
Paxley.
Yeah, Paxley. So I thought that was funny too, both her returns were her coming to save somebody.
So
I'm trying to think the other matches on that card. You had the elbow. Oh yeah, you had the Ethan Page match with Joe Hendry. I didn't like the ending to it.
Yeah. I'm like, I know it's gonna be screwy finish because they want to protect Joe Hendry, but they also want to
protect the champion.
Yeah. Which is okay, but I'm like, then why do this match?
I do feel like having Trick in that match played nothing to the match.
It didn't. It just furthered the fact that him and Pete Dunne are feuding, which
is also weird, but I get because Pete Dunne's tag partner is injured, so
well, he's doing the whole thing with Sheamus, so why are you having him go to NXT just to fuck with?
Yeah,
like why are you doing this?
Either let him feud with Trick.
Is he just going to NXT to fuck with Trick and then going back to Raw to fuck with Sheamus?
Yeah.
Why they have Trick show up on Raw and they just jump him?
Yeah, true, really.
Or Sheamus show up on NXT and just kick the shit out of him.
And like it, and I say that, but I like his feud with Sheamus. It makes sense. It's a good story.
That makes sense. But him just beating with Trick makes no sense.
Yeah, like it was really out of nowhere. And speaking out of nowhere, well, maybe it wasn't out of nowhere, but it was for me. But you had Chase U immediately drop the fucking belts they won at the last pay-per-view. And then he turns on him. He fucking just turns on these guys. It's like, okay. This was.
Oh, I lost the belt. I'm bad now. Again. Okay.
I also don't understand why have them win the belt. You could have done this turn after the loss if you were just gonna do this.
That shit's weird. I don't know.
And it's not like I don't think Chase U could carry a storyline as tag champions. I think they could do it. Especially with Ridge and that whole his first championship kind of thing. It seemed like a weird set of title changes for no reason other than just title changes. I am curious what the storyline with him turning on them is going to be, because once again, they haven't really hinted to that, have they? I don't. From what I've seen, I haven't really saw like them hinting to him doing a heel turn / turning on them.
I have no idea. With NXT, I've kind of lost interest in NXT right now. Because like it seems cool, but I'm like, it's just not.
I was really into the Carmelo Hayes Dragunov Trick stuff, and then
and then
now
after
that they're
that, just
gone,
drop.
I'm just kind of like, I like Trick, but they're not. I don't feel like they're really doing a lot with him now that Carmelo's gone. They haven't really sold me on Ethan Page as a champion.
It just seems like he was given the belt because he's one of Cody's. He's one of Cody's friends. It just like I don't want.
No,
I want.
You're kind of right. It does feel that way.
Like, I don't want it. I don't want it to feel that way, but it does. Like, no wonder why he didn't work at NXT. He just feels like I don't care.
Yeah, it's just. But you know what? He's not the only one that I watched that I feel that way. I feel that way about Lexus King too. I can't fucking stand.
Oh, Lexus King was the definition of no fucking aura.
He's
AEW,
awful.
and then the best thing about him in WWE is his fucking entrance.
Yeah,
that's about it. Cool.
Like even his match last week he had where he wins with a roll up pin in the corner with his feet, you know, and it's the slowest fucking roll up pin I have ever seen. Where it's like, oh my god, come on, just pin the guy. Like before he can even get his feet up on the ropes, he's already at a 2 count. It's like, okay, just pin him. Like we don't need the
No, it's just like how people are turning like, oh yeah, so it might it wasn't AEW. It was just he's
just him. He's just not good. No, oddly enough, the match I liked the most was the Oba Tony D'Angelo match. That was great. You know, actually having him against somebody that physically feel like could combat him in some degree.
Yeah.
Which it looks like they're not done with that because they're still kind of doing this between him and the family. Although I don't remember the guy's name, but the scrawnier guy that's part of his stable, Oba had a match with him and just killed this guy. It's like, god damn. But yeah, that was a great match. Shit. I'm trying to think what there was
North
one
American.
Other. Yeah, the North American was fine.
You had then you had the female North American.
Yeah, which was also neither one of those were bad. I mean, it was well put together matches. Nothing overly jumps out, but it wasn't like a bore to watch. But yeah, it not the worst NXT pay-per-view.
Not the best.
Not the best one either. Which is kind of how I feel about Bash in Berlin as well.
It was a solid show, but nothing memorable.
I mean, really, this was definitely just a Gunther pay-per-view.
Yeah,
like
they just want to do international matches because they have international talent.
Yeah,
I'm like, it's cool, but
the strap match went on way too long.
Yeah,
I was done with that match after the first 5 minutes.
I am one of those people that hate the fucking light thing. Just do submission of pins.
Yeah. And of course, you know, that's not the end of their feud, which I kind of wish it was. I really wish it was. And you know what? I actually made that same comment when I was watching Raw. I go, this is going to be like a cage or a Hell in the Cell match. I guarantee it.
Yeah, they're definitely going the Hell in the Cell route. So it's like, it's cool. I don't care. I think the strap match is fucked because I remember the one he had with MJF.
Yeah.
So it's like, we know what he can do in an actual strap match. And it's like, it'll never be to that extent.
Yeah, because that's the funny thing is Punk really wasn't my issue with that match. It was Drew. Like Drew just didn't seem to be a good fit for that match.
Yeah. Because if they can't go all out, what's the point of? I don't want WWE to do these like hardcore style matches if they really are sticking to this PG setting. So like it just feels like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
when he can just lift him up, hit the buttons, and do the bit of hits the button, turns. Oh, the other guy hits the button.
Yeah.
So it's like me.
The opening match, I just wasn't invested in. The Rhodes Owens match. Yeah. Well, you know what? I take that back. I'm invested in the Owens part of that match, but once again, it seemed very random
that he's getting a match.
And to me, it's even more random that Solo's getting a fucking rematch because I don't understand.
Oh, they just want that for the USA thing.
Like, I just
that just seems like a USA. Hey, we're having this big thing because next week is the whole week of WWE on USA Network.
Yeah,
so it's like we need a big match. So like, cool, whatever. I guess he's gonna lose anyway.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But how many times is he gonna lose before we actually like do something? This seems
more like a Roman's gonna interfere in this match.
Roman comes and rips the cage apart.
Yeah. So.
But it was a fine match. I did like the whole, Kevin Owens struggling with him wanting to go all in, and just being Kevin Owens, not doing the power bomb on the apron, initially not doing the kick to the knee. Although I did like on the outside where he just absolutely drops him from the knee. It's like, oh shit. Setting up the heel turn, but not doing it yet. Or I don't know if I want them to. I don't know if I want them to turn him heel because I generally do like him as a face.
I like Kevin Owens as a heel more.
Or like maybe not a full heel, but like kind of that middle ground of I just beat the shit out of everybody because I feel like it.
The prospect.
Yeah, I think that's a good fit for him. Let him be a face when it's convenient. If you need an extra body. But mainly just kind of be that anti-hero kind of thing where it's I'm just here to fight people.
Yeah.
The mixed tag match was fine. I don't care about Judgment Day.
Yeah. Now that Rhea is gone from the group, it's like Rhea was the main attraction of Judgment Day.
I would put Priest up there too. I think they've done a great job of making me really like Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Although I cannot fucking stand the Terror Twins shit.
Name. Yeah.
I think they've done an excellent job making me new hat. Making me care about them. Yeah. The mixed tag it was fine. I would have rather seen just one-on-ones.
They'll do that.
And they will.
Yeah, you just don't want to. Because at that point, you don't want Rhea to beat Liv.
That's true.
Unless it's, you need that to be
for the title.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's whatever.
I do, it was a fine match. I do like the bits of it. It's like I said, this match or this pay-per-view was mainly about Gunther.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you caught while you were off, but we kind of just went over like the Rhodes and Owens match, and like it was fine, but I don't get it. It seemed very random. You had that's right, the women's tag match. They Bianca and them got the belts back, and then are proceeded to. So here's my thing. I want some fucking consistency on whether or not we do the rematch clause.
Because, they did say they don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
That's not to say that they won't offer rematches to certain people, but the automatic rematch clause, I guess, appears to be gone.
Because they lose these just to turn around and proceed to win a number one contenders to face them again.
But this is more of how shallow the women's tag division is entirely.
That's fair.
That everyone's just getting a rematch.
That's true.
While you have Damage Control and fucking Lesbians R Us.
They're trying so hard to make me give a shit about that group, and it's not working. I just don't care.
They seem like great people.
They put the three worst wrestlers all together and go, you guys will do great. I don't care. And I hate that because there needs to be some more heel groups. Or not even groups, just better heel women's wrestlers. And
you have Shayna Baszler there. she can be a great heel.
She's the strongest of the three. I will say that.
Yeah. Oh, out of that 3, Shayna Baszler leads above both of them.
Yeah. But it's just, ugh.
If all you're gonna do is have her be in this group because, put all the non-conventionally attractive lesbians in the group.
Yeah.
Like, you dickhead. That just makes y'all. That just makes y'all.
This is the New Day all over again. Let's put all the minorities together.
Yeah.
Fucking racist. But I will say, for the pay-per-view that was based around Gunther, it was the best match of the night.
Yeah.
Obviously, no one expected Randy was going to win. But even with that in mind, they put on a great match. Now, there is no doubt that Gunther would have, there's no doubt, no asterisk next to the title name of, you didn't pin me. He's officially pinned Randy Orton. All is right in the world, even though storyline technically it still doesn't make sense, but I died on that hill last time. And then that brings us into the most recent week of wrestling. I'm gonna start with kind of the story we started the week talking about is Odyssey Jones kind of been removed from everything WWE. I don't know if they've officially released a statement yet.
They haven't, so I'm wondering if it's wait, they have or they haven't?
Haven't. I was agreeing.
Okay. Sorry. I thought you said have. So they haven't, which leads me to think that for all intents and purposes he's gone
injury or sickness or
pending on investigation.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if they look into it and it turns out to be kind of nonsense, because I guess this all started from like a bunch of tweets. This one account just continuously kept replying to like WWE
Everything.
or like everything about how he
is a woman beater.
Is a woman beater and gave this woman like CTE basically, and like all this other shit, and like no proof of it. And again, I don't want to sound insensitive, because I mean, listen, if this is the case,
always should prove.
He needs to fuck off like immediately, which okay, fine. But it's just really been tweets like from an account with no
merit.
Like even the username was kind of like a weird, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't
a woman beater or some shit like that.
Yeah, it was like a weird fucking
was
thing.
It really? And Jesus.
Yeah, it's literally someone who just constantly tweets. Like if you made a tweet about Raw, this person would retweet you going, "Well, Odyssey Jones beat me during the summer of this, and then went to Raw and enjoyed his like that shit."
Have they followed us yet?
No.
Okay.
God no.
Just curious.
No.
So it's just one of those things like it's fucked up if it happened, and the fact that they removed him and like completely dropped everything is like, hey, we're listening.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically, this stems from. It was noticed that Odyssey Jones was removed from the Raw roster on the WWE website.
Truth about Odyssey Jones.
Xavier Woods has determined that he has nothing to do with
Odyssey. Yeah.
The weird thing is Brock Lesnar is still part of the roster, which is a thing.
It's depending how that investigation goes. Oh, speaking of that,
I was gonna segue into that too.
Okay, cool.
The Netflix documentary special about Vince McMahon, the rise and fall of Vinnie Mac.
Yep.
I am absolutely. When does that? Have they said when that comes out yet?
September 25th.
Ooh, marking my fucking calendar. I can't wait.
Which is crazy because they have him as part of it, which is. This is a weird.
I get the feeling this didn't start out as what it turned into.
No, it didn't. No, because originally they were working with WWE.
Yeah.
For this. This was going to be a giant fluff piece, given the fact that, WWE's coming to Netflix. Let's give this big fluff piece to the guy that's ahead of it. And then shit hit the fucking fan.
Pivot.
When I say the fan, I mean Janelle's head. But, all right, I feel bad for that one. That's gonna get cut. That's gonna
Yeah, that's what you think.
I'm not getting. But no, seriously though, shit sucked. And there's like the reports came out. He was fired. Then he did the hostile takeover to come back. It became weird. So they're bringing up a lot of things, but I still don't feel like it's gonna touch on what it needs to, because the people shown in there are
Hulk,
Vince McMahon, Hulk Hogan,
The Rock.
I have thinking about Hulk Hogan. Few choice words, because I'm thinking about two. Yeah, no, Bret Hart, who's gonna be at Raw tomorrow because they're in Canada.
That's gonna be interesting.
Triple H, The Rock. So these are definitely people that were on board when it was the original part.
Yeah.
But now that it's gonna be added, it's gonna be like that initial fluff piece at the beginning.
Yeah,
but then later half is gonna go a fucking turn.
They still had to sign off on that because there's no way they change that halfway through and then go, "Oh, actually, we're doing this," and they go,
"Well, given from what the report is, like they have no say so. WWE has no say so on this one."
Yeah, but I feel like you can sit here and be like, well, we were under the pretext that this is what we were sitting down for, and then you guys pulled a 180 on us. I feel like they could at least do that. Not so much in controlling what they say, but
I feel like no one has anything. Well, John Cena's part of it. None of them have anything bad to say about Vince McMahon. Maybe Brett, because Brett.
Well, yeah.
Well, he was probably talking about Goldberg for like hours on end. It's like, this is about Vince McMahon.
Ended my career.
Goldberg. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure most of the things.
Let me tell you about Bill Goldberg.
Yeah. He just starts going on Bill Goldberg. Like, we can cut this.
He doesn't call him Goldberg. He's Bill Goldberg.
Mr. Hart, this is about Vince? I'll get to that.
I don't remember what it was in reference to, like what the show was, but it's that meme of like everything was fine until it wasn't, and then it cuts to like that sepia tone, like fucking thing, and then like negative, like whatever the fuck, and like I feel like that's what it's gonna be. Like midway through the documentary, it's just gonna be, and then it all went to shit, and it's.
What I need from this is I need from the son-in-law of Vince McMahon. I need the same meme of the emotional part of one of Vince's interviews where he's just like,
yeah,
I need Triple H to do it once, once.
But in the trailer for it, they do talk about the steroid trial, him going to trial.
Oh yeah, because fucking he who should not be named was part of that fucking incident.
Because funny enough, he was brought up twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Hulk Hogan went on the fucking Impulsive podcast.
Oh my god. The stupidest comparison.
Yeah,
well, if Chris Benoit can be forgiven, why can't I?
No, fuck. No, those are two.
Hold on, sir.
Are you one filmed a dead body and the other one calls dead bodies? These are not the same.
Hold on,
also,
sir.
No one. Okay, I think Hulk Hogan's fucking confused. People respect the body of work that he did, but not a single person will go, he was a great guy.
Glad he killed that bitch. Like,
yeah, no,
dude. Like, that's not.
Anyone who does immediately gets the worst look and go, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Look, and we've talked about this.
He's burning in hell.
I absolutely respect the Chris Benoit wrestler for the stuff he put on because it's all great. He is still a piece of shit who killed his family. End of story.
There's nothing in this world that changes. Yeah, it's a very strong period.
Paul Heyman had an interview that
was great. Yes,
really summed that up.
Jim Ross is another person who like has the best way to sum this up. Like Chris Benoit would have hated what Chris Benoit did.
Yeah.
So if you are defending him, just know that he would hate. Yeah, even he would hate the shit that he did.
And I still hate the fucking inside job shit. Like, who the fuck was out to get Chris Benoit to fucking set that up?
Kevin Sullivan.
Fucking trash.
May he now rest in peace as well.
Hulk Hogan just went on a fucking dipshit. He just lost brain cells and said Logan Paul would be the greatest babyface ever. He should come in to save the blood. Like thank God you're not booking shit.
Did you see the fucking moment where he's like, when it's a work, but when it's a work, sometimes it's a shoot. And, and Logan being new to this doesn't know what a fucking doesn't know what that means.
Yeah, he doesn't know the
He has the
terminology.
fucking audacity to go, you don't know what a shoot is? Hulk, you don't know what a shoot is. You were the one that screwed over other people. Like,
How about you stop shooting up steroids, you fucking mook?
fucking
Right.
idiot.
Like you don't even know what reality is.
Yeah, Mister, I wrestled for 378 days because I went to Japan multiple times. Missed the fucking doesn't know how time
Tell
zones
me
work.
shit about knowing what a shoot is. Your whole career was a shoot, you fucking idiot.
I hate that motherfucker
God.
so fucking much. There are some people on this earth like I will just never understand why Hulk Hogan can eat a dick.
Like, I just love his opinion on himself, and it's like, looking back, you're part of the reason the business got held back for so long.
He's the moolah of the male division.
Like him, and then later on the NWO were like a lot of the reasons wrestling got held back for as long as it
Everyone likes Triple H now, but like, yo, the politicking was crazy between you and
him and Sean straight just lying to fucking Brett's face. I don't know what was going on. Like, what?
The active attempt to sabotage the Rock's career.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm curious about that because then I remember at some point, and it was like, oh, Sean worked for his grandmother.
Yeah.
In Hawaii at one point, and it was like, oh, he was disrespectful to her. But then, like, I forgot. It was like a Hall of Fame speech before The Rock like came back when he was like still skinnier, and he was doing like the
Scorpion
Disney
King
movies and stuff.
Yeah.
No, it was like
post Scorpion King.
Yeah, it was
Tooth Fairy.
like Tooth Fairy time. Yeah, so he was like that skinnier.
Yeah,
and he was talking about like people he wanted to wrestle that he hadn't wrestled at that point. John Cena was them, Rey Mysterio was another, and Shawn Michaels was the other one. But like all the reports you've ever seen are like, oh,
hates him.
He hates Shawn and he hates Shawn, and then he's talking about, oh yeah, Shawn worked with my grandmother for back in the day, and it was so wonderful to her, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, so
which one was it?
Yeah, what thing is it like?
Well, then you
because
you had this TV show he did, The Young Rock, where like he talks about that one individual that tried to screw him over. They never invariably say is Shawn Michaels, but the guy's dressed like Shawn Michaels. You can change the race of the guy all you want. I still know who you're talking about.
Right.
You can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
That was a weird. That clip came up of him like talking about wrestling Shawn, and obviously that would have been fucking great back in late 90s, early 2000s.
But now, like, who gives two fucks?
Well, yeah.
But Jesus fucking Christ, I generally hate.
Yeah,
You mean the guy who had no creative control in WCW whatsoever and never used his non-creative control ever in WCW? You're talking about that guy? Yeah.
The one who thought Sting should have got that dirty finish because he just wasn't feeling the vibes that day. Like, he'll fuck off.
Yeah.
Still pissed off about that shit.
Didn't quite pass the vibe check today,
Yeah. You know what? I want to win.
That was,
and then by disqualification, then restart the match. Like, dude, no, why?
I went to play.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
2K24 is whatever the WrestleMania, like 40 or 70, whatever the fuck years WrestleMania.
40 years of WrestleMania.
And I go, I start playing. I was excited for it. I go, God damn it! Most of these are going to be Hogan.
Yep.
And I'm
Hogan
like,
for like the first 10, right?
I'm like in 7 WrestleManias, and 4 of them have been Hogan.
Yeah.
And also, why did they think Corey Graves was the person to narrate that? And of all the people we could have picked,
I think he was just there for the longest time.
Like, shit, give me like,
couldn't get Jim Ross.
Hell, I'd have done Michael Cole. Like, at least,
Yeah. Also learned something about Jerry the King Lawler this week, and makes me hate that guy permanently.
Didn't you already hate that guy? I sure didn't
Jerry
like
Lawler?
Jerry Lawler, yeah.
Oh, for multiple reasons, but this one's like, fuck that. So permanent fuck you now.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm on the edge of my seat.
Oh,
Is it
he.
not a podcast topic?
Oh, you can censor this if you want
Oh
to, but what
God!
he did was assault
Legend.
a 13-year-old girl.
Like physically,
Exactly how you,
or
yeah,
like Doctor Disrespect assault a 13-year-old girl, or
like Diddy, like Diddy
of
type
course he
shit.
fucking did.
So
You know,
have fun with
somehow
that.
that doesn't surprise me. Actually, I don't know why
Apparently, that
that
was brought
doesn't.
up in a shoot interview. Like there was like a shoot wrestling thing where a guy just goes off the cuff and brings it up.
God damn.
Like, and they
Between
had like, hey, we're gonna cut to
between
commercial.
that
Here's
and his
live
dead
TV. Like,
son again.
so it's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
That's fine. He ain't got much longer. I say that, but Ric Flair's still around. God. Okay,
Weeks.
where the fuck am I? That's getting so off the rails.
Reason why wrestling's so fucked.
Did Ozzy Jones? Hey,
Long story
guess
short.
what, guys? I found Dragon Lee. Um,
Yeah, he's around.
he's around
You
still.
gotta dust him off because Lucha Brothers are coming.
Had Dragon versus Dragon. Dragunov versus Dragon Lee. You know what? It was funnier in my head.
Oh, they had a Dragunov with Dragunov?
Yeah, he paired off against Dragunov. It was a good match, and to no surprise, Dragon Lee didn't win, unfortunately. But yeah, because it was for the Intercontinental thing they're doing.
Yeah.
So Dragunov moved on. Strowman, who replaced Braun, or
who suffered from COVID.
COVID.
Braun
Isn't that like
Strowman.
the second time that's happened?
Where he's just been replaced in a match, yes.
Well, but like, isn't this
The
the
match has been a
second
bad
time he's
luck.
gotten COVID and got replaced?
I don't think it was COVID the first time.
Was
I
it
think
something
it was just
else?
yeah. I think
Okay.
it was something.
Yeah,
He had bad
fucking
luck.
this guy's luck, man. Sit there. They finally get me interested in this guy, and then he can't even, do the.
Was it King of the Ring?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was King of the Ring.
Yeah, because they had a bunch of injuries and different things for King of the Ring too that kind of fucked them on.
But you had
The
Strowman
original.
replace, which I knew neither Sheamus or Ludwig was gonna win that. Because they're doing the Pete Dunne Sheamus Trick Williams 3-way fight to the death of Pete Dunne's career.
Yeah.
And then Ludwig.
Yeah, it's funny that he's in two feuds at the same time.
We
on
talked
different
about
shows.
we talked about that earlier. Yeah, it was like, pick one, man. Just like, if you want to do Sheamus, fine. That would make sense. I get it. I don't know what your fucking issue with Trick Williams is all of a sudden.
No.
Like we already talked about the lesbian stable. Like my note, yeah. God, I couldn't care about the stable. You have Sammy Hogan going for gold.
Oh, we gotta stop, man. This guy lost match after match for years.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right.
I don't understand where that started.
No, where it starts for me is I still just have an issue with him beating Braun the first time the way he did. Not beating him in general, but just the way he did it. And
but I mean, even the way they told that story was he clearly underestimated him and was overconfident.
No, I say
and
it
then
now.
He turned around and went, "Not doing that again," and fucking just destroyed him.
Yeah.
So like, all right, cool.
But yeah, I guess they're gonna try and run it back, him and Gunther, which I assume it's not gonna end the same way because Gunther just started this title reign, and I don't see it ending anytime soon. Which is a shame because now that's like back-to-back pay-per-views he's gonna lose. Well, not back-to-back because he wasn't at Bash in Berlin, but what was for me the most impressive thing is Maxine looks a ton better in the ring.
Yes.
Watching that match, I was like, damn.
Like
there's
feels
actually
like overnight, but I'm sure she's been working hard. But yeah, it just kind of feels like an overnight thing where all of a sudden she kip ups and different shit, and I'm like, oh.
And on that other end, I can't stand the Dragon Sleeper as what's her name from Ivy
Ivy Nile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't stand the Dragon Sleeper the way it is. I think either do to the mat dragon sleeper, but like the standing dragon sleeper just doesn't seem effective. Especially because like she has an MMA background, like, you know, make it look more MMA-ish,
like reverse guillotine kind of
thing.
Yeah.
But of course that leads into the, I guess, also, I'm full on the griping tonight. Could they have not have thought of a better name for his new stable? American Made, really? That's the best we could do.
I mean, it's always been American something.
I know. Well, not because Alpha Academy, or it was Alpha.
Oh yeah,
American Alpha, then
American
Alpha Academy, and now we're American Made.
Yeah.
So they're moving away from the Alpha thing.
I just
yeah, because they're still calling Otis, Maxine, and Tozawa
Alpha Academy,
which is
weird because the person that's supposed to be the leader that's not in it anymore. Whatever. I did see something. It kind of brings back to WWE. Was talking about Okada, or it's like AEW really paid for just a larger size version of Tozawa. I go, oh wow, that's kind of. I mean,
first of all, you're mad you didn't get him, but whatever.
It's like, that's such an opinion.
Yeah, that's a choice of a.
But no, they had a good match. Like I said, she looked great, and then of course they're setting up. I still want to know why the Wyatt Six are going after Gable.
Because he abandoned his family.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. That's all it says. He abandoned his families. They're attacking people who abandon family.
Ooh. Would be next.
So I want to see where it goes after this.
Yeah.
Because the same thing with Bray. Bray had the one feud with LA Knight and then passed. So I want to see what.
I guess he was gonna feud with Lashley, and then.
Yeah.
And that never happened, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Because I think he was bringing back the Husky Harris.
Yeah.
Well, because he was doing I think it was the pig one. It's like, okay, I get it. I get the vision because Bobby is the Almighty and he focuses on his physique. So.
Right.
Happening to the fact that Bray is not the most muscular, like, best physique person.
Yeah, I mean, well, he's a stacked guy, but he's just not.
Yeah,
like,
but I'm saying
defined.
Yeah. Oh, I'll never say Bray was an out of shape person. I was just saying from the viewpoint
comparison
of the audience.
Yeah, you're comparing two large guys that are large in very different ways.
Exactly.
Speaking of LA Knight,
when would Bobby's 90-day be up?
Next month?
Would it be up?
Did they ever confirm when exactly his contract ended?
I didn't know.
I also thought the 90 days was only if you got released. If your contract expires, you can pretty much do whatever you're doing.
Oh yeah, true. Then he didn't get released. He just.
Oh, you know what we didn't talk about from AEW that I'm into was that Hologram and Osprey had a little behind the scenes back and forth, you know?
Osprey. Hologram number 2, El Clone.
El Holo.
No, they're AW look for copyright of El Clone or The Clone. And everyone's made like a joke about they're gonna be a dark hologram.
Oh my god.
Which is funny, but like, all right. That and Shockwave. AEW Shockwave. The other copyright.
Shockwave.
Because they're sending a shockwave through the professional wrestling industry. Don't do that.
I feel like this is just going to be like an exclusive show on Max.
Which would be fine. I would be cool with that if that was like why they were doing it. I just hope that it wasn't like that cringe statement of like, we're sending a shockwave through the industry. And it's like, don't.
All right.
Stop.
You know, this is not the 90s.
Throw on that Michael Jordan meme.
Here's the thing.
Stop it.
If you're gonna have the shockwave, you gotta have the Shockmaster.
I knew it was coming.
You know, bring that gimmick back. This is the best part of WCW.
Get your fucking glittered fucking stormtrooper helmet.
Dusty had great ideas. This was not one of them.
I'd love to be the guy that Dusty ran that one by. And go, yeah, champ, That's the one.
I would pay to see like everyone just.
But also,
Like,
we're gonna have
with the
this
camera
guy
and all.
do it, and then have fucking Ole Anderson voice backstage. And it's like, what, guys? What are you doing?
Oh man, WCW was an era.
Fucking great, you know.
We did talk about this earlier. Obviously, it looks like the CM Punk Drew McIntyre drama is not completed with the strap match.
Done.
Even had the bracelet get broken and shoved in CM Punk's mouth, which I did like. I guess the girl that made the bracelet kind of roasted Drew McIntyre.
Yeah,
They made this big long post about like, how she appreciates that like her stuff was included in like a storyline. And Drew makes a comment of like, he's gonna eat your words or something along that lines. And she just
blood is on your hands.
Yeah, yes, blood is on your hands. And she just comments back 5 minutes 46 seconds. Because that's how long he was champion.
Champion before
like,
Damien cashed in.
God damn. I'm
Get
curious.
this woman a contract.
Yeah, so fucking got our next Paul Heyman here. Let's fucking light him up. Yeah, so KJ thinks it's gonna be hell. Have they said it's Hell in the Cell, or is that just your speculation?
No, that's what everyone's suspecting, because the running joke would be Hell in a Cell because that one media scrum.
Yeah,
and it's Bad Blood, which is taking the place of Hell in a Cell.
I would say Hell in the Cell or I Quit would be the two.
I don't want a Hell in a Cell. I'd rather have the fucking Hell in a Cell.
Would you?
Yeah. I feel like an I Quit match is just meh.
It used to mean something when they would actually go away after they did it. Now it's just like, eh. Because my favorite I Quit match is still the Rey Mysterio Eddie Guerrero one where Rey's locked in the fucking rafters and he's taking the chair and just nailing his leg with it. And it's like, oh God. And then Rey went away for a while.
Yeah, that's the shit but
let's see. I did like the Priest Uso, and you know what? I like how they describe that, where he's like, hey, like I remember what it was like to be the guy on the outside of a group that nobody liked. It's like, okay, yeah, I can see this team. I did, yeah. He didn't say yes. What? He said yeet. Oh my God. Just shut up.
No, but Rikishi wants him to go to AEW.
Has Rikishi said weird. That really?
Yeah. Because
does he really think he's gonna have more success in AEW?
In AEW, yeah, probably.
I don't think he does.
No.
Okay, so what you said,
himself, yeah.
No, they wouldn't turn on him. It would just be like, your style of wrestling does not fit the AEW standard.
Yeah.
You're not fucking all. It's like you would just be constantly compared to Ospreay.
That's not the audience they want for him. Like that's
it's goofy, and like he would get a pop for showing up, but it's like, would it be good? No.
And I say that as somebody, I like Jey Uso solo. I don't think I think they need to figure out where they want to put him.
That was Rikishi's whole point. Like they had him break up from the group. They made him this big thing, and then it's like, what are you doing now?
Yeah. I mean, I think it needs to either be an Intercontinental run, or is that, which one's on? Is it USA or Intercontinental that's on Raw? Okay.
Intercontinental. But I mean, they're definitely setting that up.
Yeah.
Right now, because
the whole Braun
seems to have the most interaction with him as opposed to. Yeah.
I am curious. Do you think they have Braun lose that already?
No.
Or at least maybe not this time, but in like a secondary match, or
I'd say by the end of the year.
But
it gives him at least 2-3 months with the belt.
Yeah.
Not make it a long reign, but a meaningful reign of just going through people.
I do. Plus, he can always win it back like decently quickly, depending on the situation.
Royal Rumble.
Especially if they have to pivot back over to Jay helping.
You mean like how Chase U won and then lost the belts within 2 pay-per-views?
Yeah.
Fucking waste of fucking time.
They Sasha Banks.
Pretty much. This was the weirdest match for me this week. Was the KO triple threat match with A-Town down.
What was that for?
I don't know.
I saw the match. I'm like, cool that Austin Theory still sells the stunner like he's
Oh my
getting
god,
shot
dude.
with a cannon, and it's always gonna be funny to me. But other than that, like, why
20
do this
feet in
match?
the air.
Yeah, he bounces.
Yeah, I didn't understand why that was a triple threat match. Like, instead of just like some kind of handicap. Like, other than to try and solidify their like
they've been trying to
separating
tease.
them.
Yeah, they've been trying to tease that breakup for a bit.
And I still stand by it. Waller could absolutely do his finisher without leaving the ring. Like, you could
But he
still
won't.
just do the barrel roll. What is it that's called?
The Rolling Thunder.
No, but the move he does at the end of it. It's where he
The
does.
stunner.
It's not a
He
stun.
rolls
No,
into
he
the ring
doesn't
and
do
then
the stunner anymore.
oh,
He does the like where he jumps up and almost kind of like the way Bray used to do his move. There's a term for that, and I can't remember what it's called.
Neckbreaker?
It just doesn't go as far back.
Like a flatliner.
Flatliner. There you go. That was the word I'm looking for. I knew it was like something Steiner or like I was like no Frankenstein or something else. But yeah, he does it's a rolling flatliner, and he does it from outside the ring. You could just do that in the ring, and that's fine. Like, I don't need this whole roll between the ropes kind of thing because it just doesn't look. I don't like it from outside the ring. I also wish Theory would go back to his old move instead of the A-Town down that he does, but I understand he probably can't hit that on everybody, depending on size. But unfortunately, I don't think they. I still think they're waiting to see if we're gonna heel turn KO or just keep him around for the next Bloodline thing. Because they kind of hint at it with Cody, but I don't.
He's turning heel.
When though? Because even now, like they had.
They're not doing anything for Bad Blood or Survivor Series. Because if it's gonna be the Roman thing, they're gonna need a heel for Cody to face, and I say that's when the heel turn happens around Survivor Series. So he turns at Bad Blood. Yeah, and then they have the match at Survivor Series.
Gotcha.
That'll be Cody's match. But they're not doing Raw versus SmackDown, which I hope they're not.
I think they will. It's been a while since we've had an invasion storyline. It's about that time.
You want Gunther to lead an invasion? No. We're not doing this.
Man.
The setup will be crazy. No, we're not doing it.
You didn't have to phrase it that way, you know?
Nope. Had to. Someone has to bring it up.
But then, just to kind of wrap out the night here, we had. I don't know if LA Knight's doing a triple threat or something. Who's the number one contender for that? Is it Andrade or is it Carmella?
No, it's either one because they're really making this setup like, oh, they're having a best of 5.
Oh, okay. So I didn't know that.
Yeah, I think they're on. Yeah, they're having their 5th match on the USA week.
Gotcha. I do think Carmelo sells that BFT the best I think I've ever seen it sell.
Yeah.
Where it's just that jackknife into the.
Hopefully, it's Carmelo versus LA Knight because I feel like that's a match we haven't seen. But I'm happy either one.
Yeah, I think it's a win-win. But I'm like you. I think do one that we haven't seen, and you could always run Andrade back later. I do see Andrade taking that title from him eventually.
I just don't want he's only getting it because he came from AEW just to show that we're not wasting the talent.
Yeah,
I'd rather have Carmelo have the run and then Andrade take him later.
So, and then we'll wrap it up with some Bloodline stuff. Obviously, you had the 8-man tag match, which was really good. I really enjoyed that match. I was kind of nervous about the suplex from the top rope onto the outside into the group of people because I could just see that going so bad.
Yeah.
I do like though, like what was it? Ciampa and
Gargano.
Gargano go to like get up, and the ref has to go, no, get back down, get back down. It's like, oh shit, okay, trying to get a little too quick there, guys.
Not our time.
Yeah.
And of course, Fatu ends up just bulldozing fucking everybody. I get it. I don't know if I'm a fan of that, but I understand why they're doing it. They're trying to paint this guy as this, monster. And he is. I mean, I have no doubt of that. But, pretty much takes out the whole team. Spike DDTs him for Solo to double Spike.
It's the same thing they're doing with Luchasaurus and Christian.
Yeah, it is. That's I was, until you said that, I was trying to figure out, I was like, why does this feel so familiar? And it's absolutely what it is. It's the same dynamic. Except I like Christian Cage's better.
Yeah. Not enough dead dad talk.
Yeah, just,
never mind.
Need a little bit more.
Roman just lost his father. Let's not do that.
God. Well.
Yeah, I said it and immediately recognized the fuck up.
Yeah.
No. What we're not gonna do.
I mean,
Christian might. Christian would.
Yeah, Christian absolutely would.
Christian would have. Everyone would be expecting it. If Solo did that, it'll be such a yo, what the? This is getting real kind of moment. But I don't think the Samoans are all about respect, and I feel like that's just distasteful.
And then of course you have this all culminating to next Friday. Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, semi-dissension in the bloodline as Cody wanted Jacob, but Solo's the one who calls the shots. So they're having a cage match.
Because
you know what this reminds me of? When they did Roman versus Ray in a Hell in a Cell on a random SmackDown.
Yeah.
Because they did a Hell in a Cell on Raw.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And Fox got upset, so it was like, yeah, we'll have a random Universal title match in a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And it didn't
the Fox
call
partnership
for it.
is over now.
Yep.
Yeah. Which led to the worst match ever, and I will still never forgive them for the way they did Kofi Kingston.
Poor Kofi.
Which led to which leads back to the Vince McMahon lawsuit.
Yep. We're getting racist.
Because apparently he named two of his toys after those two, which is fucking disgusting.
Jesus.
Why?
Oh, well, there's no way we could go up from that. So, we are going to wrap up for the evening, ladies and gentlemen. As always, it is a pleasure to be able to be here every Tuesday is when we drop this. Obviously, we record this on Sunday. Just for the viewers for the next few weeks, I will actually be out of town on a vacation. So there will not be an episode for the next 2 weeks. We will be back on... Sorry, I'm looking at my calendar over here.
It will be the
29th?
Yes.
Would be the next one that we release. So, but in that time, we're still going to try to be on our social media, so keep track of those. Follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, YouTube,
got that
TikTok.
AEW show coming up in a week or week and a half.
Look out for Olas with the hashtag crop squad or whatever, whichever one you're going to put on there.
I'll definitely be posting on social media about it under our Cream of the Crop page. Kind of thoughts and different things, since I'll be getting to experience my first AEW live show.
I'm sure there'll be plenty of room to start.
He's gonna take pictures of the crowd.
Look at you both. Look at you and me both making that same joke.
It's an easy layup of a joke.
But
I mean, I will tell you ahead of time that the hard camera side is
empty,
completely empty. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I say that as somebody who was purchasing tickets and nothing was available outside except for. So kind of rough, but
keep an eye out for Olas. You might see him on the
television.
I'll
be kind of like front-ish, a little further back, but I'll be kind of front and center-ish. So we'll see how that goes.
And when is that again? When are you?
The 18th.
18th. Okay, so the week
Yeah.
that I'm gone. Gotcha. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a good rest of your week, and as always, we will catch you guys on the other side of the ring. Good night.